Kicks 105.5. Good morning. I'm JJ. It's Wednesday, December 15th. It's 7:50. Currently 17 degrees outside. In the studio with me this morning is Mike Barrett from the Barrett Insurance Agency. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. Apparently Toby Keith didn't get the memo about Christmas songs.
He didn't?
For a 4-minute Christmas song. What's he thinking? They're supposed to be like 2 minutes.
That is
Toby,
insane.
come on.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
So what do we want to talk about today
So
for insurance?
Today, there's my most favorite conversation of all. Deductibles.
Deductible. What is a deductible?
A deductible is really what you, as a person who has insurance, it is what you're choosing to be your out-of-pocket expense or exposure should a loss occur. All right? So let's start with auto. That's a good one to start with. It's the most common. Everybody has an auto policy, hopefully. So let's say you have a vehicle and you're looking to get comprehensive coverage, which covers things like fire, theft, vandalism, impact with animals, glass breakage, things like that. Well, you're at the stage where you can choose a deductible through the process. So a deductible can be anywhere from a $0 deductible with some companies, meaning that you have no exposure, no out-of-pocket expense if a comprehensive loss occurs, all the way up to some companies, I think, go as high as $5,000. What is the right deductible for you? Well, that's a personal decision. And I'm going to go over how to choose that after I go over some of the other deductibles. So let's go to collision. Collision on an auto policy covers impact with other property that damages your vehicle. Now, collision tends to be a little more costly in terms of a claims payout than comprehensive. So commonly, the lowest deductible you might see for a collision is $100. Very uncommon to even see it that low. And again, you can go up to $5,000. So you're thinking to yourself, how comfortable are you absorbing some of the loss? Think about it in the world of health and medical insurance. How comfortable are you? Of course, in this case, you have an absolute choice of how much you're exposed to. Do you have a couple $100 in the bank that are disposable that you can just use in case you need it? Or are you one that tends to not want to file claims? Those are reasons that you would want to consider going with a higher deductible. If you have hard time coming up with extra cash and it's going to be a difficult time for you, and you're really gambling by going with a higher deductible, stay with a lower deductible. Now, the deductible choice is also going to dictate the cost of your policy. So think about it. The lower you go with deductible on a comprehensive or collision types of loss on your auto policy, the lower you go, the more expensive the policy is. I've seen times where going from a $500 to a $250 deductible might only be $6 more every 6 months or $12 more every year. So have that discussion, play around with it, figure out what works best for you. On a homeowner policy, and we won't get into the business because there's deductibles for commercial policies too, but we're only doing the personal stuff this morning. So on a homeowner policy, you have a deductible for your home. And some companies are so nice as to give you a choice. You can have one deductible for the home, like the dwelling and other structures, actual structures on your homeowner policy can have one deductible. And then maybe your personal property could be subject to a different deductible amount if you wanted it to. So maybe you could choose a $1,000 deductible for loss to the structures and a $500 deductible for loss to your personal property. Some people like that because a loss to personal property, probably more common, probably a lower monetary loss, so having a lower deductible is not a bad thing. But again, I tell people all the time, think about your comfort level of exposure, okay? Because, and this is the biggest part now, we're going to go into how you choose your deductible. Again, it's a very personal decision. You need to really feel comfortable with it because, believe me, you're going to remember that. You may not remember that deductible from the time after you sign the contract on your auto or home insurance, but you'll remember it when a claim occurs. Don't let it be a shock to you because that's going to really be surprising when a loss occurs if you find out, oh my gosh, I have that high of a deductible. I didn't know that. Well, you did. We talked about it. We chose it, and here's why. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer on the homeowner side, it makes sense to look at higher deductibles. Go to a $500 or to a $1,000 deductible. Leverage what your savings could be by going with a higher deductible. You could find that going from a $500 to a $1,000 deductible on your homeowner policy could save you $200 a year, could save you $300 a year. Well, a couple of years with no claims, and guess what? You've already offset the difference of a $500 to $1,000 deductible. How do these claims get paid once you've chosen your deductible? Very simple. If you have an auto claim, I don't care if it's comprehensive or collision, it works the same way. If it's a $5,000 loss to your car and you've chosen a $500 deductible, you're getting a check from the insurance company of $4,500. And then it's incumbent upon you to pay the extra $500 to the person fixing your car. On a homeowner side, same thing. You know, if you have a $10,000 loss and you have a $1,000 deductible, you're seeing a $9,000 payment. You know, and deductibles are also there to prevent what we call nuisance claims. It's there to kind of make sure you're not filing small claims. It kind of keeps your frequency of claims down, so it helps you out. So deductibles, if you leverage them properly, can really help you really get a great price on your auto insurance or your home insurance that makes sense for you, and also give you the exposure that makes you comfortable in terms of how much out-of-pocket expense you may have if you have a claim. So there you go. Deductibles in a nutshell.
Deductibles in a nutshell.
In your eyes, I saw them glaze about midway through my spiel there, so I get it, and that's common. But you know, insurance is a necessary evil, I guess, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's definitely there for your benefit, but there are ways for you to be properly protected without being what we call insurance poor. You know, paying more for your insurance than you can afford or than you should be.
So if I don't file a claim, say if I had an accident or whatever, I didn't hurt anybody else's property or nobody else, and I decided, well, you know, I'll just fix my car myself, or I'll take it to a mechanic and have them fix it.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily mandatory that I have to report it.
If there's not another party involved, you know, if there's not other property or a bodily injury involved, yeah, I mean, especially for a homeowner claim, I mean, you're more than welcome to fix it yourself. On an auto claim, the kind of gone are the days where people would go, well, it's just a little amount of damage, I'll take care of it myself, because, you know, they're thinking a couple $100 to fix it, and with today's vehicles, you know, you take it to the body shop, and all of a sudden the estimate comes back at $3,200, and they go, maybe I won't take care of it myself. Maybe I'll file this. But, you know, and there's also another thing with deductibles, and we don't see it so much on the homeowner side, but we certainly do on the auto insurance side, even motorcycles and snowmobiles and ATVs. Your deductibles, you can choose an option for them to start kind of dissipating. So for every year that your claim is free, you could see that $500 deductible turn into a $400 deductible. And if your claim is free for a few more years, you could even see that so far as that deductible be completely removed. So there is some level of accident forgiveness with those companies. They all want to give you a benefit of not being a claims filer. So there's some options for you there. So it's worthy of a discussion with your insurance agent for sure.
So if I file a claim, and does that affect my 6-month or 12-month premium?
It can. Now, it won't impact it immediately. So if you are midway through any policy length of 6 or 12 months, whatever the case may be, and you file a claim, depending on the amount of the claim and whether the level of at fault it is, you may find that there's a little bit of a cost increase at your renewal. So there you go.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike, for sharing your knowledge about deductibles, because I really didn't know a lot of that stuff.
Happy to.
I'm just like, hey, I got insurance. That's all.
That's the purpose. There you go.
Okay.
So you can always give us a call, 748-5224. Find us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. We're collecting this weekend. I think we're going to have Thursday to the Santa Fund with what we've collected. Find us online, thebarrettagency.com, Google, Facebook, and YouTube, all Barrett Insurance Agency as well. So
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming in and sharing your knowledge, and thank you for participating in that toy drive.
absolutely. We do it proudly every year.
Awesome. Thank
Have a
you
great
so
day.
much, Mike. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right.